later.
Right.
I was 29 years old when I quit the Army and went to Nashville,
Right.
and so all my peers were like 10
Right.
years younger than I am, and I was sort of hanging around emptying the ashtrays of these other guys because, geez, I didn't even know Waylon. I knew guys in his band, you know, and I rarely talked to Waylon back in those days. Richie Albright, his drummer, used to pitch his songs to him. And Basil McDavid, who was still hangs around with him. He's a comedian, songwriter.
When I did this show on Texas, and we put Waylon in it, it was when I found out that Waylon was one of the Crickets.
Yeah.
I didn't know that until then.
Yeah. Yeah, I just saw a picture the other day of him back in the old Buddy Holly band.
How old's Willie?
I think Willie's either a year older than I am or 2 years older. I can't remember. But he's older than God.
Undoubtedly. Kris, how hard... No, that's wrong. Let me start again. Do you think it's harder for people to start out today in the music business than it was when you guys started out? Because
I really have no idea. I would imagine that it's harder. But it was just like when I went to Nashville, everybody said, well, you should have got here 8 years ago or 5 years ago. It's always changing. The only thing that seems harder to me about it now is that that so many of the decisions now are being made by people who aren't in the music. I mean, who never were really part of music. They're lawyers or something. Back when I went to Nashville at first, it was still like the people who were making the music there were musician people, like Chet Atkins and like Billy Sherrill and Owen Bradley. These are people who had a close relationship, and like Jerry Wexler, with musicians, with music, actually made music themselves. And nowadays, it's sort of more like the movie business got. I think originally the movie business was probably being made by people who made movies, and then it was being made by people who moved money, you know, who never were behind a camera or in front of it, you know. And music business is getting a lot like that today too, because of so much money, because there's so much money in it. I have a feeling that it'll even out. That if you stick to your guns, you know, and stay in there, if you're interested in music, there'll be a place for you.
what do you think music television has done to the music business?
It's probably been responsible both for spreading its appeal and for watering it down, for commercializing it, you know. It's been good for it and bad for it and that. I really haven't given it enough thought. Probably haven't given it enough thought for my own good. But you're talking about MTV?
MTV, VH1, Nashville. I mean, just the whole concept of taking a song and putting a picture with it. Do you think it would have been easy to do it with your stuff?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Because your songs are small movies.
Yeah, I think it would be real easy to do. It offers another creative means of expression, you know, and I think that's fine. I've never got involved in any videos, but somebody wanted to do one on that song you mentioned. They killed him, and I don't know how that would go about doing a video or not, but that's not my job right now.
Sometimes I think it's funny, I mean, because when I think of the song, like, well, let's just take me and Bobby McGee, for instance. I mean, oh gosh, you know, I've loved and listened to that song for years, and I have a real visual image of what those two people look like. No, and I can see.
Okay, that's something that would be something that you take away from the song if you do put a video to it, because you do take away the imagination.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. That would definitely limit it to something else.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's also, music television has made stars out of a lot of people who aren't musicians, you know, who look
Well,
good.
I don't even know about that,
Yeah.
but that's happened to an extent anytime, you know. I can remember back in the early rock and roll days, there were a lot of people, and it was before television, that weren't musicians either. You know, the guys with one name that would that they would just find them on a doorstep and take them out and make them a rock and roll star.
I just interviewed him not long ago, as a matter of fact.
Good actor.
Yeah. Yeah, it was real funny. Do you have a favorite song you've written?
Not one. If I started naming a few, then I'd probably name more than you even know I've written. But it's they're kind of like children. I have a special feeling for Bobby McGee because of the people who have recorded it and what it did for me. You know, it was sort of a breakthrough for me. But my favorite song is probably the last one I've written, right now.
You wear a lot of different hats. You're a writer, you're a performer, and you're an actor. Which is most comfortable?
They're all kind of coming together. I would have said 10 years ago, probably I would have said writing, because the performing wasn't as much fun for me at the time. Now I feel more like I'm integrating the whole thing, where I can be more like the artists that I admired, like Hank Williams and people like that, who are as moving with their performance as the material. But the basis of it all is the material. If I weren't writing songs, I'm sure that I wouldn't even be an actor, you know, if I weren't writing. And my performing and my acting is basically just honest interpretation of whatever the words are, you know, or trying to be straight about it.
Yeah, when I saw you at the Bottom Line, it was the first time I'd ever seen you in concert. And boy, it was great.
Good.
Thanks for coming by.
Thanks a lot.
Gosh. Well, this was actually fun. You made my job.
Well, great.
Hey.